Yesterday's crazy debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump had me thinking about immigration. It had me thinking about a story that I want to tell you, a humanitarian journey I went on in 2019 that I'm going to tell you about right now. In 2019, there was a lot in the media about the immigration crisis. We were seeing kids being taken away from their parents, people in cages. It was all over social media and all over the media. So I decided I was going to take an excursion of a lifetime, traveling from Washington State, where I live, all the way to the border of Mexico in order to interview Border Patrol agents about the immigration crisis. Crazy, right? I ended up calling San Diego Border Patrol even before announcing I was going to take this journey, and I call them up on the phone, and I'm telling them that my name is Kwabi Amwa Force, and that I'm a humanitarian from Tacoma, Washington, and that I would love to have a conversation with them about the immigration crisis. They said that they couldn't obviously meet with me because I'm not even a news station. I'm not a part of the media. I'm not a reporter. Who am I? I'm just a random kid up here in Washington State. So they hung up on me. But you guys, as you'll learn about me, I'm very stubborn. So I thought I'm going to go anyway. So I announced on social media I was going to be taking this major journey with me, my peace bus, and a couple of friends.
Way down the West Coast on your way to the southern border. Tell everybody
correct.
what you're doing.
So basically what we're doing, we're getting four of us, me and my producer and two other friends, and we're driving down to the border of Mexico to interview people who work at the border and those who are affected by immigration policy, to get them together in the same space so we can humanize the issues that are tearing us apart.
I called it Peace Bus, Journey to the Mexican Border. After announcing this major adventure, I realized that funds were starting to come in and we were actually going to have to take this trip. So in August 2019, we headed out on a trip of a lifetime, heading from Washington State all the way to the border of Mexico, giving out hundreds of socks and blankets to people living on the street. When me and my friends got to Los Angeles, one of my friends suggested that I call San Diego Border Patrol again and ask them if I could interview them and talk to them about the immigration crisis. When I got on the phone with them again, I told them the same spiel. Like, my name is Kwabi. I have this peace bus. I'm a humanitarian. I would love to have a conversation with you guys about the immigration crisis. Seeing that online and in the media, the issue is very polarizing. And again, they said no. But before hanging up on me once again, one of the officers asked, they said, well, what is this peace bus? And I was like, I'm glad you asked. I told them what it was about. It was this baby blue van that I had purchased, and I used it in order to promote the most important thing of peace. And some of the guys at the station said that they want to see it. So they asked me if I would send them a picture of this amazing peace bus, which I did. I emailed it to them. Only an hour later, the Border Patrol called me back and they said, hey, the guys here at the station want to see the bus. Can you bring it down to the station tomorrow? So the next day, me and my crew drove down to the San Diego Border Patrol headquarters from LA and met them at their station. I knock on the door, and two officers come out, and they're not even looking at me. They look past me, and they're like, where's the bus at? So I show them the bus. They're looking at it, and as they're looking at it, they're like, why'd you come all the way down here with this really cool vehicle? Why are you here? Like, I came to interview you guys about the immigration crisis and try to figure out what's really going on. And they were like, well, we can't have you interview us. We're getting too much heat from the media. But what we can do is that you ride on patrol with us in our patrol car. How's it going, guys? I'm with Supervisor Border Patrol Agent Stevenson and Border Patrol Castellon. And we're here at the border right now. And we are talking about what they do. Me and my friends hopped on in and we drove in their patrol car on the border of Mexico, seeing the actual border of Mexico into Tijuana. And as we were on this little excursion on the border of Mexico, we started talking with the officers and getting to know them for who they were. We were humanizing them. So about 20 minutes into riding in the patrol car, talking to the officers, we asked them, can we interview you guys about the immigration crisis? And both of the officers looked at each other. And they said, well, you guys seem like some outstanding gentlemen. We'll let you guys ask us questions, but just be respectful. And so we asked them a ton of questions that people back home wanted to hear. Every single question that we asked them was recorded, and I was able to put this information on social media. A lot of the news stations back at home were very interested in this footage. They were like, how'd you get it? How were you able to talk to San Diego Border Patrol headquarters? How'd you get there? We can't even talk to these guys. How were you able to ask the questions that needed to be asked to the people that were getting the most heat from the media. The simple answer to the question was humanization. When we're able to humanize each other and lower down the guard of people, we're able to have honest and open conversation. The biggest thing that we debunked by talking to San Diego Border Patrol was that the issue wasn't criminals coming in from the border. It wasn't that we needed more stricter laws in regards to the border. The issue was that the officers needed help with humanitarian efforts, that people were coming in from the border that needed food. They needed clothes, they needed shelter, they needed essential needs, and that's why they were coming up. They were seeking a better life. This was my first major traveling humanitarian campaign. When I got back home, the news was in a frenzy, and for the first time, I was allowed to get on TV to talk about my work, and the rest is history.